Webflow is an amazingly powerful tool, but sometimes it can seem that it can break your wallet. And that's not actually the case. It's just that they have a little bit more complex pricing system because of all of the advantages you can use in Webflow. I went ahead and created 3 different use cases to showcase how much can Webflow actually cost you on a month-to-month basis. If you go to the Webflow pricing page, you might be a little bit overwhelmed because you're gonna see a lot of different plans for hosting, for workspace, for localization, like to add new members, to remove members, and you might think about how much is all of this actually gonna cost? Do I need all of this? And is Webflow gonna be $1,000 per month? It's probably not gonna be like that. So let's go ahead and explore how much will Webflow cost if you're a small business, medium business, or if you're an enterprise. Just understand that Webflow is separated into 2 different brackets, where one of them is covering the hosting and one of them is covering how much people can actually develop the website. Now it's time for some real numbers. Let's go ahead and start with a small business here. What do I think are small businesses? Usually, from what I see, those are like early stage startups. Maybe you haven't received funding or you just received like a small amount of funding, so you're not going to be spending a lot of time on your website. Those are going to be service-based businesses. If you have maybe some sort of consulting business, or like if you're a trainer or something like that. And in general, you're probably gonna have just one marketing person who's gonna be managing the whole marketing website. In that use case, we're gonna go ahead and see like the differentiator on this side. The first part is gonna be trying to understand, are you actually gonna need e-commerce? Because if you're a small business or a startup and you're just starting your brand and you're using the e-commerce, you're gonna be having different pricing brackets. But let's first cover if you're not gonna be using e-commerce on your website and you just have maybe a sales marketing website or something like that, which is just gonna be driving you leads. From our experience, you're usually gonna be ending up on the CMS plan. So like most of our clients and like I guess 50% of the Webflow customer base is just gonna end up here. So you're gonna be paying $29 per month with a current pricing. Of course, this might update because Webflow updates their pricing gonna maybe in like just a few years, but you're gonna be expecting just kind of $29 kind of per month, and you can go ahead and expect less than $300 per year. It's gonna be $276 kind of per year. I usually recommend people to go ahead and get the yearly plan because like Webflow offers huge discounts, and the more money you spend with Webflow, the more you're gonna be saving if you go with a yearly plan. Just like that, you can realize that it's gonna be pretty cheap if you have a small business, you don't run e-commerce. This is probably the only cost you're going to be encountering. If you do want to run an e-commerce website, usually we recommend the middle tier plan just because it doesn't have the commissions. So of course, we do have a blog down below we're going to be linking, which is going really in depth on the pricing, but I'm just going to be giving the recommendations on which pricing plans I think are going to be the best. If you go with a middle tier plan, it's going to be around $84 per month or like $888 per year. So again, you can see that you're going to be having huge cost savings kind of on a yearly basis. If you choose the yearly plan, that's going to like be an extra 2 dinners for you and your girlfriend or whatever you want to choose to spend the money on. And I do feel like that 90% of e-commerce businesses, even after you scale, are gonna stay on this plan. The only part where you might be kind of going to the like 270 something plan, like which is kind of a lot more expensive, is if you have like 15,000 products, which usually from our experience, clients don't use Webflow for like incredibly large volume of products kind of e-commerce store. It's more for boutique stores where you want to go ahead and create a super custom experience and you want to have a really good branded experience for your customers. The final thing is what are you gonna be getting for that? As Webflow gives a lot of powerful tools out of the box, you're gonna get 150 pages kind of static. You're gonna get up to 2,000 CMS items inside of Webflow. You're gonna get up to 3 content collaborators. You're gonna get free agency and freelancer collaborators so that you can invite external kind of agency members. And in general, you're gonna get a really robust, powerful tool. After your business grows, so does Webflow costs. And I mean, any single time in life when you grow, like when you have kids, you need a bigger house. Like in this case, when you grow your business, you're probably gonna need a lot more features from Webflow. So that's why you might encounter some more costs. And you can see here that for medium to big businesses, this can be a little bit of a puzzle to understand and kind of to actually realize how much is this gonna cost my business. Probably if you just receive funding and you're a mid-scale startup, or you're growing to become an established business, or you started having kind of a little bit of a bigger marketing team, you're gonna start having more people being kind of responsible for the website and making a lot more changes. Let's go ahead and see the full breakdown of the costs you're gonna be encountering for like mid to big businesses. The first one we're gonna go ahead and take, we're gonna say that we're not gonna need anything here. So I always like to go ahead and go through the most easy route and saying, okay, we don't need localization, we don't need a workspace plan, we have just a bigger business which needs more reliable hosting and needs more powerful CMS functionalities. So in that case, we're gonna say we don't need localization, we're gonna say we don't need workspace, and we're gonna end up with a business plan. The only differentiator between the previous plan, kind of the CMS plan and the business plan, is by looking at how much content editors you're gonna have. You're gonna have like around 10 content editors, and on the other side, you're also gonna be able to have up to 10,000 CMS items. There's also more powerful hosting, like a better CDN, and like many different things, but these are the three things that usually kind of make our clients go from the CMS to the business plan. You're gonna be expecting a little bit of a pricing increase here because you're gonna be paying $49 per month. But of course, as we mentioned, you're gonna get, again, up to 2 months for free on a yearly basis if you go ahead and choose the yearly plan, which is gonna be less than $500. So it's gonna be $468 per year. So I strongly suggest after you upgrade that you go ahead and pay for the yearly plan. Again, don't need anything from the right side. You don't need multiple languages, and you don't have a bigger marketing team, which is gonna basically edit your website. The pricing is gonna be pretty straightforward again. But let's go ahead and see on the other side, how would pricing look if you continuously can improve your website and start having more advanced functionalities. The first part we're gonna need to understand is localization, because Webflow recently launched localization, and it's gonna allow your business, specifically us for a studio from Europe, to go ahead and expand into new markets. So maybe if you're from the US, you can add like at least Spanish to expand to more of the Spanish speaking population. But in Europe, there's usually like up to 3 to 5 languages that you're gonna go ahead and actually need. So in this case, we went ahead and gave an example of, hey, our clients usually have 3 to 5 languages. Yes, the pricing per locale is gonna be $12 per month, up to $9 per month if you go on the yearly plan, but you're never actually gonna have just a single language. So that's why we went ahead and showcased it's gonna cost you like around $36 per month to $175 per year. Again, if you go ahead and choose a yearly basis, if you have around 3 locales. So that might be, let's say, English, German, you might like kind of add kind of French, and like you can choose maybe Italian or something like that, because that's gonna be your base language, which is gonna be English plus 3 additional locales. You're gonna probably end up with around 5 locales. In that case, Webflow is gonna become a little bit more expensive, but also it's gonna give you more functionalities and more flexibility on the localization side, like being able to hide and show elements on different locales, changing assets and stuff like that. That of course comes with a price, and you're gonna be paying $324 per month. You can see that it's gonna be like a lot more expensive if you have 5 locales and you also have the Webflow localization, and that can come out to 1.7K per year if you do go ahead and choose the yearly basis. Of course, it might sound a lot, but we had the experience of working with pretty big businesses and like their multi-language websites, and the amount of work that we spent actually working on every single different instance of the website when the website becomes that big is basically creating a lot of unnecessary engineering costs, which are gonna break your business if you haven't planned for those. So it's not like, hey, let me just look at the pricing for 5 locales. It's also looking at, if I didn't have this out of the box, how much more development would I need in order to have my website into 5 locales? So that's why I think the pricing is fair, and it's gonna completely make sense kind of in that case. After choosing the localization, we come to the workspace plan, because I've said it earlier that you have kind of CMS editors. In the CMS, you're gonna have like 3 content editors. In the business plan, you're gonna have 10. So if you just have people producing content, changing content on the website, and leveraging the Webflow content management system to maybe create new industry pages or new pages and that sort, you're probably not gonna need a workspace. But we've seen as the business scales that you have more and more people into the website on a daily basis, developing new things, changing new things, and basically just kind of collaborating together directly on the code, directly kind of in the Webflow designer. And that's why where kind of workspace plans come really in handy. Again, if you're inviting an agency, that's gonna be completely for free, and you're not gonna have those costs. Or if you have just a single member, you're not gonna have the cost of the workspace. But if you get as said, maybe a designer, maybe an SEO and content person, and a marketing person in your business working on a website, you're usually gonna end up with 3 people directly in the Webflow designer. That's gonna cost you like around $84 per month to go ahead and have those people inside of Webflow, and it can come up to like less than $700 per year. Again, you're gonna see huge savings, as you can see here. Maybe even for this, like they're gonna be the biggest savings kind of yet, if you go ahead and choose the yearly plan and commit to the yearly kind of changes on the Webflow side. And again, the pricing for this is per seat. So if you have 2 people or you just have a single additional member you want to go ahead and collaborate kind of together with you, you're gonna be paying like around 28 bucks per month or 19 bucks per year, like if you choose the yearly package. So again, I'm just gonna give you an example of our usual costs are like that people have like around 3 people inside of Webflow, and that's why we're giving this estimation. But in your case, like if you have less, if you have more, you're just gonna be adding those seats on top. So let's go ahead and see 3 different brackets if you're a medium and big size business. We start off on a yearly plan with less than 500 bucks. So again, like if you don't need localization, you don't need workspace, it's gonna be 468, like $468 per month. If we scale to the next part and you add 3 collaborators in the workspace, like 3 people kind of managing your website on a higher level, not the content editors, but like actually making changes on the website and developing it, you're gonna end up with like 1.2k or something like that. So it's gonna be $1,152 per year. And the final part is, let's say you have 3 locales. So you want to go ahead and have the workspace, you want to go ahead and have the hosting, and you have multi-language, which is gonna come out to 1,327 per year. I strongly recommend going for the yearly plans, so you're gonna be saving more. Hopefully, you can see a clear differentiator between a small business and a medium business, because here you're going to be having 276. This might be like twice more expensive in the first option, but it can also get more expensive with the second 2 options if you add the workspace, team members, and if you add localization. And compared to e-commerce, it's more or less kind of in a similar bracket, like around $1,000. The final part on the pricing is the enterprise, the scary one, because every single business is always gonna have the enterprise option, and unfortunately, it's gonna be pretty hard for me to tell you how much is that gonna cost. Mostly just because it's given by Webflow on a per quote basis. So if you want to go ahead and explore that pricing, you can go ahead and visit the Webflow enterprise page and schedule a call with them, or as our studio, Flow Ninja, is a Webflow enterprise partner, you can go ahead and visit our website and schedule a call with our team to go ahead and understand, is Webflow enterprise actually needed for your business. But nevertheless, it has a lot of benefits that you're gonna leverage kind of as your business grows. As the businesses grow, from our experience, we see added needs in the business actually being more compliant. So you're gonna have SOC2 compliance, you're gonna have kind of single sign-on and stuff like that to make sure that your website is more secure as you scale. You're gonna have starting branching, which is gonna allow you to go ahead and work on a new version of the page, which is gonna be manageable a lot easier. You're gonna go ahead and be able to see all of the changes that you're making to classes and just kind of manage your website in a more robust way. And in general, if you do go ahead to the localization route, you're gonna receive additional localization features which are not possible on like these 2 routes. In any case, Webflow is gonna be there for you, maybe with an agency, like if you do choose to work with us or like with any agency out there, you're gonna get much more dedicated support and success managers from the Webflow side and from our side to make sure that Webflow can be the right fit for you. So to wrap everything up, I want to go ahead and give an example of a restaurant. Let's say you're creating your favorite restaurant and you're opening it in your hometown. So at that point, you're going to be getting to the small business side and you're going to be paying $29 per month, let's say on the monthly package. No much costs, like it's not going to be an overhead, you're just starting out. Then you go ahead and decide, let's go ahead and add some merch. The moment when you go ahead and decide to add some merch, you're going to be having like $84 per month to go ahead and sell the merch, plus have your Webflow website. If your business is doing really well, you're probably going to be expanding to different cities around your country. So at that case, you're going to start considering your business to be medium to big business, and you're going to have more and more people joining. When you have more and more people joining, you have more people coming to the website, you have more CMS items, like you have more things and more products on your website. You're going to move to like 468 if you don't have anybody collaborating. If you have more people developing, maybe you're gonna have a manager, like in our case, let's say in Belgrade, managing the Belgrade part of the website, and in niche, managing the niche part of the website, and maybe in a third city, you're gonna have like 1.1k kind of per year or something like that to go ahead and pay. And if you do decide to go ahead and expand to multiple countries, let's say we go ahead and expand in Germany, of course, as it's a restaurant, we want to go ahead and serve that in their native language. Let's go ahead and think about that the business is doing really well, and we expanded to 3 different countries straight away. In that case, you're going to be expecting Webflow to cost you like 1.3k per year. And the final part, which is this one, If we go ahead and decide to take over McDonald's and start franchising our business long term, we're probably gonna have multiple people and multiple instances of the same website. We're gonna need to follow brand guidelines. We're gonna need to be more careful about what we publish online. Security is gonna come in place, and that's why when starting maybe to franchise, we're gonna go ahead with a Webflow Enterprise. So that's a wrap. If you have a more question about the Webflow pricing, we're gonna leave an open comment section down below and try to answer all of the questions you have about Webflow pricing and help you out make the best outcome. And additionally, if you want to go ahead and see how we help clients save around 20 to 30% on implementation costs and grow better and faster with Webflow, you can go ahead and visit the link down below for a completely free webinar that we recorded.